If you're over 60, please, I'm asking you from the bottom of my heart, pause whatever you're doing and listen closely. This message is urgent, and it could make all the difference in how your heart feels tomorrow. And years from now, you spent a lifetime trying to eat right. You've chosen fruit over cookies. You've skipped fried food, passed on salty snacks, and cut down on sugar because you believed, like most of us, that natural foods protect your health, especially your heart. But what if I told you that some of the very fruits sitting in your kitchen right now, the ones you've always believed are heart healthy, could actually be quietly damaging your heart? I'm not here to scare you. This isn't hype. This is medical reality. The truth is, as we age, our bodies change in ways most people aren't prepared for. Foods that once supported your heart in your 40s can become a burden in your 70s. And unfortunately, those changes are silent, subtle, and, if we don't pay attention, deadly. As a heart doctor with more than 3 decades of experience caring for older adults, I've seen it too often. Well-meaning seniors doing everything they thought was right, but unknowingly sabotaging their heart health because no one warned them about the hidden dangers in certain fruits. That's why I made this video. I'm going to walk you through 9 fruits that could be harming your heart without you even realizing it. And more importantly, I'll show you what to eat instead, so you can protect your heart and stay independent, energetic, and safe. Please, for your health, your freedom, and your future, stay with me. This could be one of the most important videos you watch this year. Now, before we dive into the list, take a moment to subscribe and tap the bell so you don't miss any future heart-smart health tips designed specifically for older adults. And if you find this video helpful, type health in the comments below. That feedback helps us make these videos better for you. Now, let's begin with the first fruit on our list. Number 1, grapefruit, the silent disruptor in your liver. If you're over 60 and trying to protect your heart, grapefruit might seem like a smart, healthy choice. It's refreshing, tangy, and full of vitamin C. For decades, it's been a breakfast favorite among older adults looking to stay fit and clean inside. But here's something most seniors are never told. Grapefruit can silently interfere with some of the most common heart medications. If you take medications like statins, calcium channel blockers, or antiarrhythmics, this fruit could be quietly turning your breakfast into a dangerous chemical reaction inside your body. Let me explain. Grapefruit contains compounds called furanocoumarins. These natural chemicals interfere with a key liver enzyme called CYP3A4, an enzyme responsible for breaking down many medications. When that enzyme is blocked, your medications don't get broken down properly. They build up in your bloodstream, sometimes to toxic levels. It's like trying to drain a sink through a clogged pipe. The pressure builds, the backup grows, and the system starts to fail. Now, imagine you drink a glass of grapefruit juice with your morning atorvastatin for cholesterol or amlodipine for high blood pressure. It feels clean, healthy, but your liver can't process the meds. So instead of helping your heart, the medications build up, slowly making things worse. Over time, this can lead to dangerously low blood pressure, irregular heart rhythms, and muscle pain or weakness. And here's the scariest part. You won't even feel it happening. It's quiet, it's gradual, but it's real. Let me share a story. My patient, Mr. Harold Whitman, a 74-year-old retired mail carrier, was the picture of discipline after his bypass surgery. He exercised daily, took his meds on time, cut out red meat, but he started experiencing dizziness and unexplained fatigue. When I reviewed his records, everything seemed fine until I asked about breakfast. With a smile, he said, "Every morning I start with a fresh glass of grapefruit juice. It's my cleanse." That cleanse was actually clogging his liver. His statin levels were double what they should have been. His blood pressure meds weren't clearing. The grapefruit had been quietly turning his medications into a hazard. Once we removed the juice and adjusted his medications, his symptoms disappeared. His strength returned. Grapefruit isn't bad in itself, but if you're on heart, cholesterol, or blood pressure medications, it's important to speak with your doctor or pharmacist before consuming it. Just because something is natural doesn't mean it's safe. Nature is powerful, and in some cases, power needs boundaries. After 60, your metabolism slows, your margin for error shrinks, and that means even a single glass of juice can have consequences. So if grapefruit can do this, what else might be hiding in plain sight? Let's talk about the next fruit. It's soft, comforting, and sweet, but for seniors on certain medications, it can trigger silent danger. Number 2, bananas. When too much potassium becomes harmful. Bananas are practically the symbol of healthy eating. They're soft, easy to digest, rich in potassium, and feel like a natural choice for breakfast. But here's what many people don't realize. After age 60, bananas can become risky. That potassium, which once supported your heart, can now quietly overload it, especially if your kidneys aren't as strong as they used to be. As we age, the kidneys naturally lose efficiency. They can't filter excess minerals as quickly. And when potassium builds up in your blood, it can disrupt the electrical signals that keep your heart beating in rhythm. This risk is especially high if you're taking medications like ACE inhibitors, like lisinopril, ARBs, like losartan, or potassium-sparing diuretics, like spironolactone. These drugs already raise potassium levels in your system. Add 3 bananas a day, and you've tipped the scale. You might feel fine one moment, then suddenly dizzy, weak, or short of breath. In severe cases, your heart rhythm can become irregular or even stop. One of my patients, Mrs. Evelyn Brooks, 76-year-old retired elementary school teacher, experienced just that. She fainted in the middle of a grocery store, her heart in ventricular arrhythmia, a dangerous rhythm disturbance. When I reviewed her meds and labs, her potassium was high, not dangerously so, but enough to throw her heart off balance. She wasn't on supplements, she wasn't eating junk, but she had one daily habit she thought was harmless. "I only eat bananas," she told me, 3 a day, every day. They're my treat. In truth, each medium banana contains about 450 milligrams of potassium. That's fine in moderation, but paired with medications and aging kidneys, it becomes too much. We adjusted her intake to 1-2 bananas per week, monitored her potassium, and within weeks, her energy improved. No more fainting, no more skipped beats. Bananas aren't the enemy. But after 60, balance is everything. If you're on any medication that affects potassium, don't ignore symptoms like fatigue, muscle cramps, or an irregular heartbeat. They might be warning signs. And remember, more isn't always better, especially when it comes to minerals your body can't easily eliminate. Now, let's move on to a fruit that feels indulgent, exotic, and good for the soul. But inside, it might be flooding your arteries with inflammation and confusion. Number 3, mangoes, the sweet spike that confuses your heart. There's something joyful about a ripe mango. The soft texture, the golden color, the tropical scent. It brings back memories of summer, youth, and simpler times. For many older adults, it feels like a wholesome treat, a natural dessert. But under that sweet exterior lies a hidden danger, especially for seniors managing diabetes, prediabetes, or heart disease. Mangoes carry a high glycemic load, meaning they cause your blood sugar to spike rapidly after eating. And if your body doesn't handle sugar like it used to, which is often the case after 60, those spikes can silently create stress and inflammation inside your arteries. Here's why. After 60, your pancreas slows down. Your insulin response weakens. Sugar lingers in the bloodstream longer, and that excess doesn't just float there harmlessly. It sticks to artery walls, stiffens blood vessels, and ignites low-level inflammation that damages the heart over time. But it doesn't stop there. A rapid blood sugar spike can also affect your blood pressure. Sugar influences the hormones that regulate fluid, sodium, and blood flow. It's a domino effect. Blood sugar rises, blood pressure becomes unstable, and your heart ends up working harder just to keep pace. I think of a patient named Mr. Leonard Chavez, 68-year-old retired auto mechanic. He came in with tightness in his chest and overwhelming fatigue. On paper, he was doing everything right. No soda, no fried food, daily walks. He'd even lost 15 pounds. But when we checked his labs, his A1C, a measure of long-term blood sugar, had crept into the diabetic range, and his blood pressure readings were all over the place. "I don't eat sugar anymore," he told me. "I snack on fruit, mangoes mostly. Fresh or dried, they help with cravings." When I asked how often, he said, 2 a day if they're small. Here's the problem. One average mango contains over 45 grams of sugar, more than a can of cola, and dried mango, even worse, no water, no fiber, just pure concentrated fructose. Leonard had traded soda for fruit, thinking he was doing the right thing, but his body did know the difference. The sugar still spiked his system, and his heart was paying the price. We replaced the mangoes with berries, apples in moderation, and low glycemic fruit options, and within weeks, his energy returned. His blood pressure stabilized. He told me, "I never thought fruit could act like sugar, but sugar is sugar, no matter how it's packaged." He's right. Your heart doesn't care whether sugar comes from a candy bar or a mango. It only knows when it's under stress. So if you feel drained after meals, notice swelling in your feet, or experience a sluggish heartbeat, take a second look at your fruit bowl. Because mangoes may look innocent, but for many hearts over 60, they're a sweet and silent disruptor. And if that much sugar can be hidden in just one mango, imagine what happens when you eat a fruit that's larger, juicier, and full of water, sugar, and potassium all at once. Let's talk about it next. Number 4, watermelon, the red flood that overwhelms the aging heart. Watermelon feels safe. It's the fruit of childhood, of barbecues and hot summer days. Light, hydrating, sweet. What could be more refreshing? That's exactly why many older adults eat it by the bowlful, especially in warm weather. It feels like the perfect replacement for dessert or soda. But here's the truth. For seniors, watermelon can quietly become a triple threat: sugar, potassium, and fluid overload that your heart and kidneys may struggle to manage. 1 cup of watermelon contains over 170 milligrams of potassium and about 9 grams of sugar. That might sound okay on its own, but let's be honest, no one eats just 1 cup. Seniors often consume multiple cups at once, morning and night, especially if they're trying to hydrate. As we age, our kidneys slow down. They don't regulate electrolytes or eliminate excess fluid as efficiently. Now, pair that with medications like diuretics, beta blockers, or ACE inhibitors, which are common for blood pressure and heart failure, and you've created a perfect storm. The sugar in watermelon spikes your blood sugar. Potassium adds strain to the heart, and the sheer volume of fluid dilutes sodium in your bloodstream, forcing your heart to work harder to pump through the extra volume. That's what happened to my patient, Mrs. Margaret Ellis, 81-year-old retired piano instructor. She came in with swollen ankles, breathlessness, and a heavy, tired heart. Her medications hadn't changed. Her diet was clean. But when I asked what she'd been eating lately, her face lit up. "Oh, doctor, I've been replacing dessert with watermelon. Big bowls, morning and night. It's been so hot lately." Yes, better than ice cream, but not better than moderation. Her blood work showed borderline high potassium, low sodium, and a struggling heart trying to adapt to the flood. Her medications couldn't compensate. The result? A slow, steady overload. We brought her back to 1 cup a day, spread out, and added hydration through water, not watermelon. We monitored her potassium and watched her symptoms fade. "I didn't think something natural could knock me off balance," she said. And that's exactly the message. Watermelon is not your enemy. But after 60, even healthy choices must match your body's current needs. So before you reach for a second or third helping, ask yourself, is my heart ready for this much sugar, potassium, and fluid? Because what starts as a refreshing treat could quietly push your heart into overdrive. Now, if fresh fruit in large amounts can do this, what happens when we eat fruit that's condensed, sticky, and stripped of water and fiber, yet still packed with sugar? Let's talk about it next. Number 5, dried fruits, nature's candy with a hidden cost. To many older adults, dried fruits seem like a wise snack choice. Raisins instead of cookies. A few dried apricots in place of pie. They're soft, natural, and easy to chew, especially for those avoiding processed junk food. But here's the part no one talks about. Dried fruit is nature's candy. And for seniors, especially those managing diabetes, high blood pressure, or heart disease, it can be far more harmful than it looks. What makes dried fruit dangerous? When fruit is dried, nearly all the water is removed, leaving behind a concentrated piece of sugar-dense food. Without the water and fiber to slow digestion, the natural sugar hits your bloodstream like a freight train. It causes a sugar spike, ignites inflammation in blood vessels, and can even disrupt blood pressure and triglyceride levels. Let me tell you about Mr. Walter Green, 72-year-old retired park ranger. He came into my clinic after suffering 2 minor strokes within a year. He didn't smoke, he'd lost weight. His medications were on track. So what went wrong? During our conversation, he smiled and said, "No more candy for me, doc. I just eat fruit now. Raisins, prunes, dates. I keep them in a little tin in my truck." But here's what he didn't know. 1/4 cup of raisins contains nearly 30 grams of sugar, almost as much as a candy bar. A few dried dates? Even more. They may come from nature, but they behave just like processed sweets once they hit your bloodstream. His labs showed high triglycerides, elevated blood sugar, and signs of arterial stiffness, all fueled by what he thought were clean snacks. We shifted his routine to fresh, low-sugar fruits like berries and apple slices with healthy fats like peanut butter or plain Greek yogurt. Within weeks, his numbers began to improve. And at his next visit, he said something that stuck with me. I thought I'd given up dessert. Turns out, I'd just downsized it. That's the trap with dried fruit. It feels small, natural, even safe. But the sugar is still sugar, concentrated and aggressive, especially in a body that can no longer regulate it easily. Another hidden risk? Many dried fruits are coated in syrup or preserved with sulfites, which can irritate the gut and raise blood pressure in sensitive seniors. Even unsweetened options still carry significant natural sugar without the water or fiber to balance it. So next time you reach for dried cranberries or trail mix, pause. Ask yourself, am I nourishing my heart, or am I overwhelming it in disguise? Because even healthy foods, when concentrated and eaten without care, can undo years of progress, quietly, bite by bite. Now, imagine that same concentrated sugar, but in liquid form, poured into a glass, marketed as heart healthy. That brings us to the next fruit culprit. Number 6, bottled fruit juice, the sweet trap for your heart. There's something nostalgic about a glass of orange or grape juice in the morning. It feels clean, familiar. Labels like 100% juice or no added sugar make it sound like the healthiest choice on the shelf. But for older adults, especially those with blood sugar issues, heart disease, or high blood pressure, bottled fruit juice may be one of the most dangerous beverages in your kitchen. Why? Because juice is stripped of its fiber, the very thing that slows sugar absorption. What's left is a concentrated blast of fructose, rushing into your bloodstream with no barrier, spiking your blood sugar and pressuring your heart. Let's look at the numbers. A single 12-ounce glass of orange juice contains about 30 grams of sugar, just like a soda. Grape juice? Even more. And while the sugar technically comes from fruit, your heart, liver, and pancreas don't care. The effect is the same, if not worse, because you absorb it faster. One of my patients, Mrs. Lorraine Matthews, 77-year-old retired librarian, came in after experiencing dizzy spells and a racing heart. She had always been proactive, walking regularly, cutting back on sweets, and managing mild prediabetes. When I reviewed her blood work, her fasting glucose had risen, her triglycerides were climbing, and her blood pressure was all over the place. "I don't eat dessert anymore," she told me proudly. "No more soda, just heart-healthy juices. Cranberry in the morning, orange at lunch." Unfortunately, each glass delivered a sugar load her aging body couldn't handle, and because she was on medications like beta blockers and diuretics, her heart was more vulnerable to those sugar-fueled swings. Her palpitations and mental fog weren't random. They were the direct result of her body being pushed into overload day after day, sip after sip. We switched her to whole fruits in small amounts, added water with lemon and mint for hydration, and eliminated bottled juice. Within weeks, her symptoms faded. She looked me in the eye and said, "I thought I was doing everything right. I had no idea juice could put me in the hospital." So remember, after 60, your liver is slower, your heart is more fragile, and your margin for error is smaller. Juice may look healthy, but if you wouldn't eat 5 oranges in one sitting, don't drink them either. And if something as widely praised as orange juice can backfire, what about a fruit known for its antioxidants, but capable of dangerously interacting with your medications? Let's talk about pomegranate. Number 7, pomegranate, a double-edged sword for seniors on blood thinners. Pomegranate has earned a glowing reputation. It's packed with antioxidants, full of polyphenols, and praised for its heart benefits. But what many older adults don't realize is this. If you're on blood thinners, pomegranate could silently push your medication into dangerous territory. Whether it's warfarin, Eliquis, Xarelto, or even a low-dose aspirin, pomegranate juice and supplements can interfere with how your liver processes these drugs. It all comes down to enzyme inhibition. Pomegranate contains compounds that block the CYP 450 enzymes, which are responsible for metabolizing many medications. If those enzymes are blocked, your meds stay in your bloodstream longer, raising the risk of excessive bleeding and internal hemorrhage. Let me share the story of Mr. Ernest Wallace, 79-year-old retired firefighter from Pennsylvania, a devoted patient with a sharp mind and a soft voice. He came to see me after noticing blood in his urine and feeling lightheaded. He almost collapsed in his kitchen. His INR level, which measures how long it takes blood to clot, was dangerously high. He was taking warfarin for stroke prevention, and his dosage had remained unchanged. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary, until I asked about new habits. He paused, then said, "I've started drinking pomegranate juice every morning. Read that it helps with circulation." That was the missing piece. The juice had been silently intensifying his blood thinner's effects, putting him at serious risk of internal bleeding. No pain, no warning. Just a well-intentioned habit gone wrong. We immediately stopped the juice, monitored his INR closely, and brought his levels back to safety. His words afterwards stuck with me. "I never thought a fruit could mess with my meds." And that's exactly the point. Fruits are powerful. Just because something is natural doesn't mean it can't interact like a drug, especially when you're over 60 and your liver, kidneys, and heart are more sensitive. Should you avoid pomegranates entirely? Not necessarily, but if you're on blood thinners, talk to your doctor before making it a daily habit, especially in juice or supplement form. Because even something as beautiful and healing as a pomegranate can become dangerous if it isn't matched to your medications. Now, what happens when the fruit is not fresh, not exotic, but stored in cans, swimming in syrup, waiting quietly in your pantry? Let's take a look. Number 8, canned fruits, syrup and sodium in disguise. There's a simple kind of comfort in opening a can of peaches or pears. For many seniors, especially those living alone or on fixed incomes, canned fruit feels like a smart, practical choice. It's soft, easy to digest, affordable, and doesn't spoil like fresh produce. But hidden behind those cheerful labels is a quiet threat: sugar, syrup, and sodium that could be steadily working against your heart and blood pressure without you realizing it. Let's start with the sugar. Even canned fruits labeled as in juice often contain added sugars or concentrated natural sugars. A half cup of canned peaches and syrup can have 20 grams of sugar or more, about the same as a candy bar. And unlike whole fruit, there's no fiber to slow down absorption. The result? A sudden sugar spike, inflammation in the arteries, and stress on the heart. But there's another problem too: sodium and preservatives. Many canned fruits, especially if they include syrup or juice with additives, contain added sodium to improve shelf life. And while the amount may seem small, it adds up quickly, especially for seniors who are already on medications for high blood pressure, heart failure, or kidney disease. Now, meet Mrs. Helen Thompson, 73-year-old widow and retired seamstress, and one of the kindest souls I've ever treated. She came into my clinic with persistent swelling in her legs, fatigue, and breathlessness. Her medications were stable. Her salt intake was low. Her blood work didn't show any obvious red flags. But when I looked deeper into her food diary, one thing stood out. Every afternoon, she had a bowl of canned fruit. Peaches and pears, doctor. I keep a few cans in the pantry. It's better than dessert, right? It seemed innocent, but that daily treat was delivering a heavy dose of sugar, hidden sodium, and fluid retention, pushing her heart into overload. Her kidneys couldn't clear the excess efficiently. Her blood pressure started creeping up. The swelling worsened, and her heart, already strained, was quietly losing ground. We made just a few changes. We switched her to no sugar-added canned fruit, advised her to drain and rinse every can, and encouraged her to try fresh or frozen fruit when possible. Within a few weeks, the swelling decreased. Her energy returned, and at her next visit, she told me something I'll never forget. I didn't think fruit could turn against me. And she was right. It's not the fruit itself, it's the form. After 60, your heart, kidneys, and blood vessels don't work like they used to. Even healthy choices, if packaged in syrup and preservatives, can quietly undo your best efforts. So if you're stocking your shelves with canned fruits, look for packed in water or 100% fruit juice, no added sugar. Drain and rinse thoroughly before serving. Watch portion sizes and sodium on labels, because even a little can go a long way, either toward healing or harm. And that brings us to one of the most overlooked dangers of all: not a specific fruit, but a common mindset. One that can trip up even the most health-conscious senior. Number 9, overdoing heart-healthy fruits when good intentions go too far. We've all heard the advice: eat more fruits and vegetables. And it's good advice until it's taken too far. Yes, fruits and vegetables are filled with fiber, vitamins, and antioxidants. But after age 60, even the healthiest foods can become risky if they're eaten in excess too frequently or without proper balance. Why? Because your metabolism is no longer what it was at 40. Your kidneys don't flush out nutrients as efficiently. Your medications interact with more foods, and your heart is more vulnerable to shifts in blood sugar, potassium, and fluid. Let me tell you about Mr. Thomas Avery, 75-year-old, retired high school history teacher. He came to my clinic a few months after a minor heart attack. He was determined to take charge of his health. I gave up red meat, fried food, and all the junk, he told me proudly. I live on plants now: kale, spinach, bananas, beets, sweet potatoes every day. He was doing what he thought was right. But instead of feeling better, he was exhausted. His muscles felt weak. He was dizzy at times and had trouble sleeping. His labs told the story: elevated potassium, kidney strain, and blood pressure instability. What happened? It wasn't that he was eating bad foods, it's that he was eating too much of the good ones, every single day in large portions without rotating or adjusting based on his medications. Let's break it down. Bananas, oranges, sweet potatoes, and beets are all high in potassium. If you're on ACE inhibitors or potassium-sparing diuretics, this can lead to hyperkalemia, which disrupts heart rhythm and may cause cardiac arrest in severe cases. Spinach and kale, while incredibly nutritious, are high in vitamin K. That's great, unless you're on blood thinners, where inconsistent intake can interfere with dosage and increase bleeding or clotting risks. Natural sugars from fruits like grapes or apples can raise blood sugar, which over time leads to inflammation, weight gain, and artery damage, if not balanced with fiber or protein. In Thomas's case, we didn't remove healthy foods. We just introduced moderation, rotation, and balance. We built meals around variety. We monitored potassium, and we paired fruit with protein and healthy fats to soften the sugar impact. A month later, he came in smiling. "I thought more meant better," he said. "No one ever told me I could love my heart too much." And that's the truth. After 60, health isn't about doing more. It's about doing it wisely. It's about understanding your body, respecting its new needs, and giving it what it can handle, gently, consistently, and thoughtfully. Because even nature's best foods can become too much when your heart is trying to heal. Then, what to eat instead? By the time you've reached your 60s or 70s, your heart has already beaten over 2 billion times. That same heart has carried you through a lifetime, raising children, walking through joy and sorrow, adapting to stress, grief, hope, and healing. Now, more than ever, it needs something in return: your care, your attention, and your understanding. So many older adults ask me the same thing after hearing about the fruits they should limit. "Doctor, then what can I eat?" And here's the good news. You don't have to give up food you enjoy. You don't have to eat bland meals. And you certainly don't have to live in fear of every bite. What you need is food that supports your body where it is right now, not how it worked 20 years ago. Your meals should honor the changes in your heart, kidneys, metabolism, and medication needs. Let me tell you about Mrs. Dorothy Ramirez, 83-year-old retired midwife. She came into my office tired, discouraged, and frustrated. Her blood pressure was creeping up. Her energy had dropped. She told me, "I don't want to be stuck in a hospital. I want to stay in my home. I want to feel like myself again." She wasn't on many medications yet, and she wanted to avoid going down that road. So together, we built a plan. Not a restrictive, joyless diet, but a gentle, supportive way of eating that gave her strength without stressing her heart. Here's what we focused on, and what I recommend to every senior who wants to eat for a stronger heart and longer life. Choose cooked, not raw, vegetables. Raw veggies are hard on digestion, especially as we age. They can cause bloating, pressure on the diaphragm, and strain the heart. Light cooking helps break down fibers while preserving nutrients. Try steamed green beans or broccoli, dressed with olive oil and a pinch of sea salt or herbs. Roasted carrots, rich in beta-carotene, which supports blood vessel flexibility. Sautéed zucchini with garlic, which is hydrating, potassium-balanced, and gentle on the stomach. Cooked spinach or kale in small portions if you're on blood thinners. And most importantly, rotate your veggies. Don't eat the same one every day. Balance is the secret weapon of senior nutrition. Embrace heart-loving antioxidants. Some of the best heart protectors are found in vegetables like tomatoes, especially when cooked, rich in lycopene, a compound proven to support artery elasticity. Sweet potatoes in moderation for their steady release energy and fiber. Just monitor portion size due to their potassium content. Bell peppers, especially red ones, for their high vitamin C and low sugar. These foods fight inflammation, support vascular health, and help your body resist oxidative stress. something that increases dramatically as we age. Choose fruits that are low in sugar and gentle on your body. You don't need to give up fruit. You just need to choose wisely and eat in moderation. Aim for fruits that are low glycemic, high in fiber, rich in heart-friendly compounds. The best options? Fresh berries like blueberries, strawberries, or raspberries. Just a handful once or twice a week. These are loaded with polyphenols that protect blood vessels. Thin slices of apple or pear, especially when eaten with meals. The fiber helps control blood sugar spikes. Melon or papaya in small cubes, hydrating and gentle, but avoid overdoing it, especially late at night. Avoid eating fruit by itself, especially in the morning or before bed. Always pair fruit with a protein or healthy fat, like Greek yogurt, a boiled egg, or a small handful of nuts, to slow absorption and protect your metabolism. Hydrate without hidden sugar. One of the biggest breakthroughs Dorothy experienced came from one simple change, replacing juice and sweetened drinks with smarter hydration. We switched her to plain filtered water, warm water with lemon slices, unsweetened herbal teas like hibiscus, chamomile, or ginger, cucumber or mint-infused water. Hydration helps regulate blood pressure, keeps your kidneys working well, and reduces the risk of fatigue or dizziness. Don't forget about meal timing and portion sizes. Your digestive system is slower after 60. Eating large meals can strain the heart, spike blood sugar, and cause uncomfortable bloating. So we help Dorothy eat smaller meals more frequently, include protein and fiber in every meal, avoid heavy dinners or late-night snacks, take short walks after meals to help digestion and blood sugar control. Within 3 months, Dorothy's blood pressure stabilized, her fatigue faded, and at her next appointment, she said something I'll never forget. "Doctor, I finally feel like I'm eating for my heart, not just for my hunger." That's the transformation we want for every senior watching this video. You don't need complicated diets, expensive supplements, or harsh restrictions. You need foods that respect your age, your medications, and your goals. You need meals that are simple, healing, and tailored to your new reality. So if you've been asking, what can I eat that won't hurt me? The answer is clear. Whole, minimally processed foods. Cooked vegetables, gently prepared, small portions of smart fruits. Balanced meals built around consistency, hydration, not sugar. And most of all, a rhythm that works with your aging body, not against it. Because food, after 60, is no longer just fuel. It's medicine, it's prevention, and it's your frontline defense against decline. And just as important as what you eat, is how you live, how you move, and how you honor the life your heart still has left to live. As we move through our 60s, 70s, 80s, and beyond, it's natural to feel a mix of pride and concern. Pride in how far we've come, the careers we've built, the families we've nurtured, the losses we've endured, the wisdom we've earned, and concern about the future, about our energy, about our independence, about how we'll continue living with strength, dignity, and clarity in this next chapter. Through it all, one organ has carried us without complaint, your heart. It's been your engine through stress, joy, celebration, heartbreak, laughter, and sleepless nights. It has pumped through millions of emotions, through decades of living, through every sunrise and every setback. And now, after a lifetime of service, your heart is asking for something in return: respect, attention, and thoughtful care. The truth is, caring for your heart doesn't have to be overwhelming. It doesn't mean giving up all your favorite foods. It doesn't mean fearing every label or eating in fear. It means transforming your daily habits into small acts of love. Let me be very clear. This isn't about restriction. This isn't about punishment. It's about recognition, acknowledging that the same body that once rebounded quickly now needs more gentle support, not force. Every choice now carries more weight, not because you're weak, but because you're wiser. because your systems have changed. Your digestion is slower. Your circulation is more sensitive. Your kidneys process minerals differently. Your medications interact more easily with foods. That doesn't mean you need to fear food. It means you need to know it. Understand what's on your plate. Know how it affects your blood sugar, your blood pressure, your medications, your hydration, and your sleep. Your heart no longer asks for extremes. It doesn't need superfoods or miracle diets. It needs balance, consistency, and kindness. So what does this look like in your daily life? It's as simple as choosing water over juice, cooking your vegetables gently instead of eating them raw, having one small handful of berries instead of 3 bananas, checking how grapefruit or pomegranate may interact with your prescriptions, taking a short walk after dinner instead of lying down, enjoying quiet meals without screens to give your body time to digest and relax. And beyond food, your heart thrives on the non-edible nourishment too. A meaningful chat with a neighbor, a walk in the fresh morning air, playing music that makes you smile, tending to your garden or reading to your grandchild, saying no to stress and yes to rest, laughing more often, finding purpose in the quiet parts of the day. These things are not separate from heart health. They are heart health. In all my years of caring for older adults, I've learned this. The seniors who thrive are not always the ones with perfect lab results or rigid routines. They're the ones who make space each day to listen to their bodies, to make small shifts with intention, and to treat their health not as a burden, but as a gift. Your heart is still with you, still beating, still giving. And now you have the chance to give back, not by doing more, but by doing what matters, slowly, kindly, and with clarity. So if there's one message I want you to take away today, it's this: your heart deserves to be heard. If you're feeling fatigued after meals, noticing swelling in your feet, or experiencing mood swings or skip beats, don't ignore those signs. Don't brush them off. These are not inconveniences, they're invitations. Your body's way of asking you to pause, reflect, and make the small changes that lead to a better tomorrow. So the next time you make a meal or pour a drink, ask yourself, is this helping my heart? Or is it quietly working against it? Because it's not just about living longer, it's about living better, with energy, with freedom, with the confidence to say, I know how to care for myself now. You're not walking this road alone. At Trusted Senior Health, we're here to guide you, step by step, meal by meal, heartbeat by heartbeat. Your journey isn't behind you. It's still unfolding, and the decisions you make today are shaping the strength and clarity you'll feel tomorrow. If this video spoke to you today, if even one thing made you pause, reflect, or think, I didn't know that, but I needed to, then you're already taking the most important step, paying attention to your health with intention. And I want to thank you for staying with me, for choosing to learn, and for honoring your heart by being here. Now, I'd love to hear from you. In the comments below, please type healthy if you found this video helpful. Type unhealthy if you didn't. Your honest feedback helps me create better, clearer, and more useful content for you and everyone in this community. And before you go, take one moment to hit the like button if you found value here. It lets YouTube know this message matters, and it helps other seniors just like you find the support they need. If you haven't subscribed yet, please click the red subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another health tip made just for you. At Trusted Senior Health, we are building more than just a channel. We're building a place where you feel seen, informed, and supported as you age with confidence and clarity. And remember, you're not too old. It's not too late. Your heart still has so much life to give. And so let's make sure you protect it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for caring for your health. And here's to living life, on your own terms, with purpose, power, and peace. We'll see you in the next video. Until then, stay strong, stay wise, and stay well.